So when you make a pumpkin pie, you can actually use any kind of squash. I used butternut squash this time, but if you use a pumpkin, you want to make sure that you use a pie pumpkin or a Cinderella pumpkin, something that is meant for eating. A jack-o'-lantern pumpkin is really not edible. They are made to grow really fast and be bright orange, and they're stringy and dry, so that they last a long time on your porch. In this case, I steamed the butternut squash because it's more dense than a pumpkin, and it benefits from the extra moisture of the steam. But I find that if I use a pumpkin, that I would prefer to bake it because they are less dense than a butternut squash and they lose a lot of flavor with the steaming. So I choose to bake a pumpkin instead. Okay, I'm just gonna whiz through making pie. It's just a basic pie crust recipe from Martha Stewart. There are lots of pie crust recipes out there. Everybody's got their own way of doing pie crust. They say pea-sized pieces, but I go for like big breadcrumbs. The only trick I have with pie crust is keeping it from getting too wet. And so I just dribble in a little bit of water at a time. It takes a little time for the flour to absorb the water, so you don't want to pour it all in there too fast. And it is pie crust. It should squish together and be still a little bit crumbly. But you want to be careful not to overmix too, because you'll develop the gluten in the flour and then it will be chewy pie crust, not flaky pie crust. Again, you don't want to knead it too much or it will be chewy. All of the pumpkin pie recipes that I like to use are in Martha Stewart's pie book. These are the ones that are on our website as well. And the one my kids like the best is the brown sugar pumpkin pie. I put in the brown sugar. We're making 2 pies, so we need 4 cups of pumpkin or squash. You want to make sure that you allow enough time when you're making your own squash or pumpkin puree so that it has time to cool off before you make your pie. Otherwise, when you mix your hot pumpkin with your eggs and milk, it's all going to turn into scrambled eggs, and that is gross. I know because I've done it. 3 eggs per pie. Look at that, the yolks are the same color as the pumpkin. Cinnamon, ginger, and allspice. And then we just mix it all up. Alrighty. It cooks about 45 minutes to an hour. You can really tell if you jiggle it and the filling is kind of jiggly, then it's not done. When it stops being jiggly, then it's done. Okay, let's check the pumpkin pies. So you can see there's no jiggling in the custard part and the pie crust is getting brown. Last test is the finger test and it looks done to me. So, pies are done.